Whereas in the Grihastha ashram, your focus does change. You have to worry about earning money. Someone has to pay your bills. You have to worry about keeping your Krishna consciousness, bringing up your children in the right atmosphere, etc. So Prabhupada used to say that Grihastha life is a life of heavy responsibility. So naturally, in the Grihastha ashram, we do have to worry about areas that we would not worry about as a brahmacharya. Therefore, we have sufficient guidelines. Narada Muni gave guidelines to Yudhishthira Maharaj in the 7th canto of the Bhagavatam. We have instructions of Prabhupada, etc. How in the Grihastha ashram we can live and achieve perfection. We can chant our rounds, follow regular principles. Naturally, we have to work to earn money to support the family. But don't over-endeavor to the point that I can't associate with devotees, I can't chant, I don't have time to read, I just don't get time to do the essentials. So the fallacy or the danger is sometimes our grihasthas lose the spiritual vision and get so entangled in grihastha life that the spiritual life suffers. So, grihastha, grihamedi. So grihastha life is a disciplined life where you can endeavor for perfection within limits. And nobody expects a grihastha to work like a brahmachari. No one's going to tell a grihastha, come on, you don't have to go to work, this is hard. You can't send your kids to school, that's fine. No, someone will say that is crazy. I mean, actually in the Grihastha ashram, there are obligations, but we should discharge our obligations in such a way that you keep a balance between spiritual life and material life. Is that right, Bhagavatam? Yes, now her turn.
I'm saying like Maharaj, like Brahmaji, he's studying about the universal form. How he's not, why he's not telling about the two-hand form of the Logda?
Well, in this chapter, he's focusing on the universal form and he's showing how everything we have a voice, we have voice where the Lord has voice. We have tongue where the Lord has tongue. He's explaining indirectly that ultimately everything that we have is coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Where Arjuna saw the universal form and then requested the Lord to show his four-handed form and then two-handed form. Okay. Yeah.
Guru Maharaj, the Gayatri Mantra elevates one to the level of Brahmin, but it doesn't liberate from the cycle of birth and death. So,
all these are stepping stones towards perfection or liberation from birth and death. One may become a sannyasi, but if he doesn't act like a sannyasi, it doesn't mean much. One may become a Brahmin, but if he doesn't act like a Brahmin, it doesn't mean much. Prabhupada used to say we should become genuine Brahmanas, not just Brahmin by name. Therefore Krishna says, Chaturvarnamaya Shishtam, Guna Krama Vibhaga. So Brahmin is an important step forward, but we should act as Brahmins. Even if we get first initiated, first initiation is meaningful if we are going to act properly. If we just initiated and I'm still acting like I used to act before, then what's the value? No difference. Just initiation alone will not take you back to Godhead. Yes?
Maharaj, as you mentioned in your lecture that we as a soul were in the spiritual world, and gradually we had a desire.
Yeah.
desire became down.
Yeah.
Now the question to you is that when you are in the spiritual world, there is no entrance of Maya, so how can you have desires to come back?
Very good question. You always have a certain amount of freedom. We will always have the certain amount of freedom to choose God or reject God, and in what percentage we want to serve the Lord. Even in the spiritual world, according to our philosophy, we do have the freedom. But generally, people don't misuse it. Just like they say, once burnt, twice shy. Actually, the number of entities in the spiritual world is far in excess of what you see in the material world. Just like the number of people roaming around in the streets of Atlanta is definitely in excess of those who are in the prison. Yes? More questions? Yes.
As we know, the nature of fire is to burn, no matter how you use it. Likewise, I think that by chanting the name of God, whether attentively or inattentively, should do the same thing.
Well, chanting the names of God, it's a good question, very good question. Chanting the names of God is beneficial either way. But it's more beneficial when chanted attentively. Just like medicine. You're sick. Diabetes. Doctor gives you medicine. The medicine will work in all cases. But if you take the medicine according with the diet, it will work better. If you're taking medicine and avoiding sweets, then it will work better. But if you're taking medicine and eating rasgullas, it will work, but less effectively, isn't it? Yeah. So chanting is beneficial, even if you say, as Prabhupada said, the taste of this liquor is Krishna. He said, usually when they drink, they say, cheers. So someone says, cheers, Hare Krishna. You're going to get some benefit. But it's more beneficial if you chant Hare Krishna. For the holy name, once there was this movie, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. So that movie was released in 72 or 73, was a big hit. We never saw the movie, but we knew it was a hit. So anyway, the movie on the positive side, they had the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra in the background of the whole movie. That's what I was told. On the negative side, it shows people take drugs and chant. That's famous. So I went to Prabhupada in 72 and said, Prabhupada, this movie is going to spoil our image in India. Because it shows that we take drugs and then chant. And Prabhupada heard the whole thing. He said, no, nothing will be lost. People will hear the holy name. So holy name is beneficial in any situation, whether you get it from Manu Julota or something. But it's more beneficial when you get it from a devotee. Okay. Yeah.
Like,
in
this verse actually, Brahma was very much enjoyed, like he was very much blissful, like when he heard the last Kama Gayatri portion of the Gayatri. So means he didn't, there was something more specific in that part as opposed to the whole.
No, Brahma heard the Gayatri from the flute. The Gayatri emanated from Krishna's flute. And when Brahma heard it, especially the Kama Gayatri, the most important of all the mantras, he for immense pleasure, he at once started meditating on Krishna's pastime with the group.